Hey everyone, thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel. This is my first ever YouTube video, so I'm pretty excited to be getting it underway. It's been something I've thought about for quite a while now, but I guess this isolation time has presented a pretty good opportunity to get it going. Being in isolation also means I'm growing this dusty moustache, so I don't always have it, but I thought why not. The idea behind today's video, I'm going to take you through my push session. A push session basically involves upper body pushing muscles. So we're thinking our chest, our shoulders, specifically our front delt and our medial delt, and as well as our triceps. So I'm going to take you through each exercise and give you a brief explanation before I do each exercise of the main tips that I think are important to think about, and also tips that I have found that are quite applicable to the people that I train as well. So hopefully you learn something new and something that's going to benefit you in your own training. The first exercise we've got is an incline bench press, and our incline bench press we're thinking about our chest, and more specifically I guess our upper chest. Because we are in an incline, we are trying to prioritize a bit more upper chest. And in terms of how to perform the actual movement, we want to start off with a really solid foundation and a good setup. So in terms of our feet, we want to make sure that they're firmly planted on the ground and they're also in line with one another, so we don't have one foot further forward than the other one. When we see that happening, often what it can result in is a slight twist, and then slight twist in our upper body as well. So we want our feet in line, obviously we want our butt on the bench, we want our upper back on the bench, and our head too. And then from there we'll chuck our hands on the bar, make sure they're in line so we don't have one hand further out than the other. And then we're going to have our chest up nice and tall and it's going to set our shoulders back. Then we'll slowly lower the bar down, light touch on the chest if we comfortably can. If you've got a tight chest you might find it's a bit uncomfortable for you to go that low, and if you can't, that's all good. So we'll go down as low as we comfortably can, and then from there we're just going to drive that bar up. And as we're pressing up, we want to make sure that our chest stays in the same position, because what we can see sometimes is we're in this position here, and then as we're pressing we cave in like this, and as soon as we get into a position like that, often our chest basically turns off, it's not doing that much work anymore, and we start to load up the front delts or the front of our shoulders here. So we want to try and keep the chest up as much as we can and keep those shoulder blades back as much as we can too. Next up, we've got a high incline dumbbell press, supersetted with a dumbbell V raise standing up. When we're thinking about a superset like that, basically what that means is that we go from one exercise straight into the next exercise with virtually no rest in between. Our high incline dumbbell press, we're thinking more shoulders, specifically I guess front delt and the front part of the medial delt or the front part of the middle shoulder. And because we're not perfectly straight, we're also going to get a bit of upper chest in there as well. And with that, same things apply as our incline bench press. We want to have a really solid setup, so our feet are firmly planted, got our chest up nice and tall, shoulder blades are back. And then when we're pressing, we're going to keep our dumbbells just outside of our shoulders. If we come in too narrow, it's going to be more of a tricep exercise, and if we go out too wide, it's going to be hard to control those dumbbells. Go from there, we'll stand up into our V raise. With our V raise, we're going to have a slight forward angle, okay? And then the angle that we're raising at is going to be between a front raise and a lateral raise. So we're about here. And what that means is that it's not all about the front delt and it's not all about the medial delt either. It's sort of in between and a bit of both. And it's just really just a way of having a bit of variation, I guess. And we're just doing a superset really just to add more stress and more stimulus to the muscle group that we're trying to target. Next up, we're thinking about triceps. So we're going to do a flat barbell bench press, but with a narrow grip. So the main difference between it being about our chest or about our triceps is our hand and elbow positioning. If our hands are a bit wider and our elbows go out a little bit further away from our body, it's going to be more about our chest. But we bring those hands in, tuck the elbows in a bit more, we're going to prioritize our triceps. And just like our other movements, like our pressing movements, the same key things apply to our foundation. We want feet firmly planted, butt on the bench, upper back on the bench. We want our chest up and our shoulders back as much as we can. Next up, we've got a superset again. So this time we're going to go from a dumbbell skull crusher lying down on the bench. So we're going to have a dumbbell in each hand. We're going to be lowering them down and then extending back up. Same things apply. Our foundation needs to be there first. So chest up tall, shoulders back, all those same things again. Then with the actual dumbbell movement itself, we want to set up straight above our shoulders pretty much. And then basically the only moving parts is going to be our forearm here and our hand. So that's going to be coming down and then we're going to be extending back up. Ideally, we don't want to move our upper arm too much. So when we're in this position here, we don't want to swing to then come up. We want that to stay fixed the whole time so we can keep it in the triceps as much as we can. And then with those same dumbbells still lying flat on the bench, we're going to bring them into a V position like this here, or upside down V positioning, depending how you look at it. And then we're going to slowly open them up and then we're going to bring them back through. Our arms will be slightly bent, but we want to keep them the same the whole time so we're not bending the elbows a lot to then fly through. We just want to keep our arms basically the same the whole time, not completely straight but not really bent. Alright, so our last sets or our last exercises is going to be a giant set. So I consider a giant set to be any more than 2 exercises, so 3 exercises or more. And in this one we're going to be thinking shoulders, chest, and I guess we're doing some push-ups, so we'll probably get some triceps in there too. We're going to start off with a dumbbell front raise. For this one we're going to have a slight forward angle, so we'll be leaning slightly forward like this but still keeping our chest up tall. We're going to raise those dumbbells up to shoulder height in a neutral position like this, thinking front delts. Our next one is a dumbbell lateral raise, so that's standing up nice and tall, straight, and then we're just coming up to form a T. And then our next one, our third exercise, is going to be a partial lateral raise. So that's the same thing, except our arms will be dead straight, and then we're just coming out to about halfway. And then we'll finish off the giant set with just some conventional push-ups flat on the ground. Alright, so that's push day done and dusted. I hope you guys enjoyed it and maybe even learned a thing or two. This was like surprisingly more challenging than I thought it was going to be. I guess standing here and talking to the camera and stuff. The training is, I guess, the easy part when you're doing a video like this. And I would love to know your guys' feedback too. So if there's something that you'd like me to cover, or you think there's something I could do differently, like this is my first video, so I'm definitely open to hearing your guys' thoughts. In terms of like what I tried to cover today, it was just relatively simplistic. Like you could make probably an hour-long video just on the incline bench press itself. So just wanting to cover the main points that I see as applicable to me and everyone that I train. So hopefully they were applicable to you. Stay safe out there. It's a pretty crazy time right now, so just stay safe and stay healthy. Thanks heaps again. Cheers.